Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Sean from WebBox, Director of Growth with them. How are you doing today, Sean?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. And we're excited to learn a little bit more. And I'm sure our listeners are tuning in, wondering what WebBox is all about. So, in your own words, tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, great. So WebBox is a digital agency. We are based in Cardiff in Wales in the UK, and we are a team of experts that specialise in bespoke web development and performance marketing campaigns for our clients. So essentially your presence online, making sure that it's there for your users to come and find you, your target audience, and ultimately convert and get those leads in.
Definitely, that's great to hear. And so that way our listeners could get a good understanding of WebBox. What would you say are some key problems that you guys like to solve for clients?
So we work a lot in the sport, health, and leisure industries, and so our kind of core services relate to generating more leads, generating more sales for those clients, things like membership inquiries and bookings. So everything related to leads. So as well as any problems that people have on their websites as well. So if they're getting visitors to their sites but they're not converting, have they got the right user journeys in place? Are they using the right messaging to target their target audience as well? Also things like if they've got lots of different systems in place to manage data or manage members or memberships, do they talk to each other? So it's looking at how we can streamline their processes and make life as easy as possible for them at the same time.
Definitely, that's important. And so then, is there a certain type of vertical segment that you guys like to go for? Is there an ideal ICP for WebBox?
So like I say, sport, health and leisure organizations that are looking to promote their services online, essentially. So they're the kind of sectors that we work for. Essentially anybody that's reliant on their online presence through those sectors.
Okay, perfect, awesome. Now, how would these businesses usually find out then about WebBox? Is there a top client acquisition channel for you guys?
It varies really. So we often find, ironically, being a digital agency and being in the online world, that one-to-one or in-person events and meetings are the best way to find new clients, new prospects, and even grow those relationships that we already have. So we still do all the traditional kind of marketing online, so through social media, through our blog, through webinars, things like that. But we often find that our kind of best avenues are attending events, networking, and that kind of making that relationship and that connection with people person to person, rather than hiding behind our screens.
Definitely. Okay, perfect. Awesome. And so that way our listeners could go ahead and visit you guys. You could, to the listeners, you could check them out at webbox.digital. What role does a website play for client acquisition then, Sean?
That's right. Yeah. So the website is really important. So again, from our side, and again, ironically, being in the web industry, it's actually for us more of a presence which highlights our expertise and what we do. So we don't get tons and tons of leads through that, but it's a way for our clients and our prospects to see the kind of projects that we build, the kind of expertise that we have, and those kind of elements. But for other organizations, and like I say, that in the sport, health, and especially kind of leisure sectors, their website is their business. So most of their leads will be coming through their website. It's where people learn about whether they've got events on, what kind of products that they offer, and everything about that business. So it is a really important tool in the arsenal of your marketing outreach. And it's one of those things where these days everybody's expecting every business to have a website. So if you don't have one, or if you don't have one which is effective, designed well, loads fast, and considers the users that are coming to it, you're just going to fall kind of at the first hurdle. So it's definitely a very, very important aspect, and like I say, tool in the marketing arsenal.
Definitely. And on that note, is there any tools or tips or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as some website lead generation?
Yeah, so I think starting with the kind of basic things, and obviously, this is kind of subjective, but good design for a starting point. So if a design hasn't been implemented well or doesn't look quite finished, then immediately, people and users don't necessarily, they might not be designers themselves, but they can kind of sense when something isn't quite right. So it's ensuring that your presence and the visible side of the website is in good condition. And then there's other kind of top level things like speed is a huge factor. So making sure that your website loads fast initially, and then the navigation around the website loads fast, and that is down to user experience as well. Because if someone's coming to your website, they're interacting with your business. They want to have a good experience. The better experience they have, the more likely they are to convert. So speed is a huge factor. It's also a big factor in SEO. And there's some other things which are kind of more business related, are making sure you've got a clear proposition. So from a content perspective, making sure that when people come to the website, it's really obvious what you do, who you are, and how you go about doing that. Also considered user journeys. So every website will have a user journey going from point A to B, but making sure that you really think about your target audience. What are their goals, and how are they going to get from A to B in the most efficient way possible? And also finally, good use of call to actions. So think about the different types of call to action that you might have on your website. Some of those are the more obvious ones, which might be, get in touch or contact us, but they're what we would call primary call to actions. So those people are further down the funnel. They're more likely to, they're more interested in you. They want to get in touch. Whereas people might just be surfing on your website to understand a bit more about you. So you can use secondary call to actions, which might be, download a white paper, download a document, or join a webinar. So having a range of those different call to actions on the site will be really important as well through the conversion process and that sales funnel of your target audience as well.
Definitely some great advice there and tips from you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sean. But let's switch gears a little bit and talk about then, as you as a leader, you being the director of growth there for WebBox, what are some key tasks you'd like to focus on your day-to-day work?
Yeah, so key tasks are, what do I do day to day? It's a good question. So, liaising with new leads and prospects and current clients. So as we've just been talking there, obviously once you've kind of started those conversations, it's about talking to those people about what their pain points are, how we can help them, how we can solve their challenges and ease those pain points ultimately, and providing them with a solution which is gonna help. Also, a lot of the kind of day-to-day and what I get up to is kind of content ideas. So where we're, again, using the marketing channels through social, through webinars, and through blog content, or whatever it might be, is understanding a plan for the future months and the future years in terms of content, what we want to put out, and this kind of expertise that we want to show there, and also research and learning. So look at with that content ideas, and then with those content ideas, it's keeping up to date with the latest trends. Everyone's talking about AI, you have been for the last 12 months, but keeping on top of things like that, keeping on top of design trends and trends in the industry, so that we can continue to keep our skill levels up and keep pushing forwards with new ideas and be experts in the area.
Definitely. Okay. Awesome. Great to hear that. And well, let's jump into our next section here, Sean, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Are you ready for them?
Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. All right. First off, Sean, what is the last book that you read?
The last book I read is called The Shadow of the Wind.
Okay, great read there for our listeners. Next up is, what is one single thing that WebBox is focused on at the moment the most?
I would say our current proposition. So where we talk about focusing on that sport, health, and leisure sectors, we're actually currently revamping our website and our kind of outward facing marketing to reflect that as well. So that's our main focus at the minute.
Definitely. Okay. Next up is, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
Oh, that's a good question. It would probably be the attribution of leads and sales. So when we talk about marketing, there's obviously lots of different kind of channels that we can go down. That could be social media, or it could be events, live events, or PPC, or webinars. But it's understanding, making sure that all those things talk together, so that we can see that from that social post, or from that video, or from that webinar, we've had X amount of leads and X amount of sales through that. So making sure those things could talk to each other would be the key there.
Definitely. All right. Perfect. Awesome. And if there was one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
Chasing people through email would be one that jumps to mind. But I think also one of the toughest things actually to do on a regular, consistent basis is posting things like content to social. So, like I say, coming up with those content ideas and continually posting is unbelievably tough at times. Coming up with new ideas and things. I know, obviously AI and things like that these days can help you write that, but it just comes across, I think, when you generate it through that as like it looks like a robot's written it. So if there was a way that you could automate that more to sound like you, sound more human, and get that content written and kind of scheduled and out easily, then that would be a game changer.
Yep, I would agree as well. Awesome. And well, lastly, Sean, I mean, you have a lot of experience already in the marketing world, but what is one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
I think I kind of would have two thoughts on that. So my first thought would be to kind of get as much experience as I could as quickly as possible, whether that's through multiple businesses or through multiple kind of marketing disciplines. But also on the flip side of that would be to get that experience, but also find what you're most passionate about and what you enjoy the most in marketing, and focus on that as your what you're going to master in, essentially. So rather than being a bit of a jack of all trades and doing lots of different things, find the one area of marketing that you like the most, and focus on that and become an expert in that area. I think would be a good approach.
Definitely. All right. Awesome. Great advice there for our listeners. And well, Sean, we're coming to the end of our show here today, but I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about WebBox?
That we help people solve their online woes and online issues. If you are looking if you're looking to elevate your online presence and get leads through marketing, then we are the agency for you.
There, you guys heard it. You could always check them out at webbox.digital. They create unforgettable web experiences and campaigns. Sean, thank you so much for being on with us today. To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm looking forward to our next episode at Pathmonk Presents. Thanks a lot, Sean.
Thank you.